What up, guys? MarblePluto here with my first video ever. And today I'm going to be telling a story of something pretty creepy that happened to one of my friends a few years back when I used to work at Burger King. So it started off as any old regular day, just standing around talking while there were no customers. But we were kind of short on workers since it was the end of the summer and a lot of people were going back to school. We finally get a customer, and as we take and prepare their order, in walks this guy who, well, the best way to describe him, he looked like he was fresh out of jail. Like just walked from behind the gates and walked in here. And as he walked in, he kind of gave my friend this look, like it was a kind of creepy look. We're gonna just call her Shay for story's sake. And I noticed and looked at her and was like, okay, that was a bit weird. Like, he's old enough to be her dad. But of course, we seen some weird people in the place that our job was located, so just as I was about to brush him off as just an odd customer I wouldn't have to see again, out walks my manager with an application about to interview the guy. And they sit down at a table, and what do you know? The guy gets the job. So now, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to get acquainted with this guy now. He gets up and leaves, and the day continues as normal. Fast forward again, and now it's his first day. And of course, I'm just gonna call him Kevin, and my friend Shay are all working together. I'm working up front, he's learning the kitchen, and she's helping him in the kitchen since she knew both. The day goes on, we get a few customers and everything seemed normal. But I begin to notice weird things, like he was always staring at her. Now, she was a pretty girl, you know, light skin, long hair, and she was pretty fit, just to give you an idea of what she looked like. But this guy, on the other hand, he was missing a lot of his front teeth, and he was really loud. Like, he used to always talk loud. Like, you could be standing right in front of him, and he'd be yelling for some reason. But of course, growing up in Brooklyn as a kid, I was used to that. But that wasn't what was off-putting about him. What was off-putting about him was that I overheard him telling another kitchen coworker that he was going to try to get with her. Now, I thought I might have been hearing things considering the huge age gap. And of course, working with him, I got to confirm his age of 34. So I thought to myself, like, he doesn't think he's a bit old or risking jail time by pursuing this girl. But of course, I just minded my own business and continued working. So a few more days go by and nothing of particular interest happens, you know, just regular work days. He's harmlessly flirting with her. She doesn't seem at all bothered by it, so nothing really. But about after a week or two of him working with us, she comes to me at the end of our shift and says that he asked her for a Snapchat, which I found a little bit weird, but to be nice, she gave it to the guy. And they began to develop what I knew was a harmless friendship on her end, but I knew on his end it was much, much more. Like, it got to the point where I would catch him moping if she wasn't at work. Like, since he knew we were good friends, he would come to me and ask if she was coming in today, and if I said no, his mood was like ruined for the rest of the night, which I found really weird. Like, bro, you're a grown man. What are you doing moping around over some teenage girl? Like, there were even times where if a male customer or coworker would either talk slick or flirt with her or joke around, he would get genuinely offended as if she was his girlfriend or something. And I noticed that, but when I looked at her, she didn't notice that. Now, I don't know if she genuinely didn't notice or if she was just ignoring it, but it was strange. Now, I remember one day we got on the topic of prom and what we were gonna do for prom and like if we were going with anybody, and he just comes out of nowhere and just asked her if he could chauffeur. And then he was saying if he did, he was gonna go inside and hang around her during prom. And I'm thinking to myself, like, how awkward is that gonna look if this weird 34-year-old or someone that looks close to 40 is hanging around a bunch of teenagers at prom, seeming like he's hoping to get lucky with a certain someone. He just began to impose himself a lot on things that she had going on outside of work. Like, it seemed like he was really anxious to get over to her house, if you know what I mean. Like, there was another day where Shay was telling me how she does hair and she has customers and was telling me how she has an appointment after work. And here comes Kevin asking her if she could give him dreads. Now, of course, she declined because she's not dumb. She knew he was only asking so he could get to her house since she mentioned how she has her clients come to her house so she can do their hair. And immediately he gets offended and is like, oh, you're going to turn down business? I was going to pay you to do it. I wasn't expecting any freebies. And she was like, nah, I'm okay. And I'm just looking at him like, wow, you're really trying really hard to get her alone or get to her house in some way, shape, or form. Like, I understand shooter's gonna shoot, and there's nothing wrong with shooting your shot. But when you're literally twice the age of that girl, like, this guy was in high school, a senior in high school, when she was born. Like, there's a problem there. Then later that day, she comes to me and says she plans to leave Burger King soon since she landed a job as a nurse. So hearing this, I'm like, congratulating her. She went to school for years for that and she got the job she was looking for. But Kevin, on the other hand, took it in an entirely different way. Like, his demeanor just went from happy to kind of sour for the rest of the night. Like, the dude was butthurt. Now, some time goes by and our shifts end and we all go home. And later that night, I get a phone call and it's from Shay. Now, this was nothing out of the ordinary. At that time, we used to talk to each other on the phone on a nearly day-to-day basis. So I answer her and she seems like she's either weirded out or creeped out about something, so I ask her what's wrong. And she tells me that Kevin messaged her on Snapchat saying that he wants her. So hearing this, I kind of froze for a bit. And the first thought that came to my mind was, FBI, open up! I went so far to say age ain't nothing but a number when she turned him down. So I go back to work and I'm playing it cool, but I am looking at this guy kind of weird, like he really went for it. Like he really tried it. Like, I knew this girl's mom, and he was only a little bit younger than her, so that should put into perspective how weird it was for him to be acting this way towards her, and especially knowing what he intended to do with her. So more time passes, and now it's her last day, and I could tell for the entire night that he was just sad. Now, she's my friend, so I knew we were going to keep in contact, but I can tell he was looking at it as missed opportunity for an entirely different reason. So the end of the night comes, and she's about to go home, and she says goodbye to everyone, and it's just, heartfelt goodbyes. And yeah, needless to say, after she left, he only lasted about a few more weeks before he eventually quit. He did stir up a few more problems in his time working there, but that'll be a story for another time. But yeah, that's my story. This has been MarblePluto. Until next time.